Welcome back, everybody. Now, the two Democratic Alliance candidates will be competing for the party's top position in a virtual conference to be held this weekend to elect its new leadership. The two candidates running for the party's federal leadership are John Steenhuisen, the interim federal leader of the Democratic Alliance and a member of parliament who served as a provincial leader and the party's caucus leader in the KwaZulu-Natal Legislature. And now, Mbali Ntuli, who is the former federal youth leader and currently a member of the KwaZulu-Natal Legislature. Now, the conference was originally scheduled for May this year, but as you know, it was postponed due to the outbreak of COVID-19. The Elective Conference follows the party's policy one, which was held way back in September. Now, political analyst Levy Ndou joins us now to discuss the state of the DA as they head to the Elective Conference. Mr. Ndou, a very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning, Simpiwe. Good morning to the viewers at home. Thank you for having me.
All right, now, in the build-up to the Congress, Mr. Ndou, there have been various schools of thought about the direction of the Congress or the direction that the Congress will take. On the one hand, we have those who say that this will certainly be a clash of the races. And then on the other hand, there are those who opine that this election will simply be about a clash of policy and ideology. Where do you stand with regards to that?
Simpiwe, I think it's good that the DA had to go for a policy conference so that the DA is able to articulate its position very clearly to its constituencies and to the general public. But obviously, when you have a situation where policies have to be articulated, obviously you would have a contestation. Because with policies, you'll have people that will have different views. And where there are different views, there is some form of competition. And in most instances, that competition does not end. But also at the same time, it's an opportunity for the DA, after the policy conference, to have a coherent approach in terms of how they articulate their standpoint as a party. So that you don't have one member saying the other, whilst the other member says the other thing. But the other aspect is that because policies are now there in the party, there will always be a contestation amongst members in terms of how best do they develop policies as they go forward. But because others will not be comfortable with certain positions that were adopted, they will always want to have a policy review. And obviously that contestation would continue. But what is important is that apart from the contestation and differences in policy positions, leaders of the political party should always ensure that there's coherency amongst themselves and they always act in unison.
Okay. Now, we've heard John Steenhuisen saying that whatever the outcome of this weekend's Congress, he will still wake up tomorrow morning and step out of bed with his head held up high and continue working for South Africans as he has been in the past 20-odd years, and which, in a way, suggests enormous political capital in his name. And then on the other hand, Mbali Ntuli is saying that she has taken issue with the age being used to suggest that she cannot lead the party. We know that these two candidates have done very well in their respective roles and ranks within the party. Let's just discuss in greater detail what these two candidates will bring to the party and what each stands for.
I think it's important to note that with both candidates, they have got their background in KwaZulu-Natal, and they've both did very well for the Democratic Alliance in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. They both served at local government. They both served at the Provincial Legislature. But now Steenhuisen had to move to national politics. And if also you look at Mbali Ntuli, she has actually been given a huge responsibility in KwaZulu-Natal, that of running the campaigns of the Democratic Alliance. And the Democratic Alliance has not disappointed in KwaZulu-Natal. Age is actually on her side, and she's only in her early 30s. And if you need vibrancy, new ideas, and a person will be able to move around and organize young people, that becomes the relevant person in Mbali Ntuli. But when you have got Steenhuisen, you have got a person who is also grounded within the constituencies of the Democratic Alliance And the reason why he has been given the responsibility of being the chief whip, it's an indication of seniority within the party, and that's why he has been given the responsibility to be the interim leader of the Democratic Alliance. Experience counts as well in politics. Steenhuisen has got much better experience in national politics and has been able to stand firm in relation to issues that relates to the positions of the Democratic Alliance in Parliament. And as an interim leader, he has actually done well. And for me, I think the Democratic Alliance has fielded two of the best candidates, and either of them, if one of them win, the Democratic Alliance can still move to much greater heights.
No doubt, Mr. Ndou, that the Democratic Alliance has been fending off issues of race within its party, in as much as the party can try by all means possible to tell the South African, to tell all South African citizens of what the party wants to do for South Africans. But then obviously the issue of race always props up one way or the other. As a matter of fact, a text by the policy position of what the DA calls non-racialism, it sounds a bit bizarre. I'm just going to quote you in part. It says that the non-racialism is the rejection of race as a way to categorize and treat people, particularly in legislation. So, Mr. Ndou, do you get a sense that the Democratic Alliance believes that race is a proxy for disadvantage?
A number of leaders have left the Democratic Alliance, and the reasons that they provided have always been based on race. When Herman Mashaba left the Democratic Alliance, he spoke about a right-wing element within the Democratic Alliance. When the Democratic Alliance adopted policy position that relates to race, the former leader of the Democratic Alliance, Mmusi Maimane, raised similar issues, and he actually said the Democratic Alliance has actually shifted. But South Africans are lucky, because the Democratic Alliance is able to articulate its position clearly in relation to race. And remember, there are a number of policy positions articulated by the Democratic Alliance which are opposed to redress policies as suggested by the African National Congress, the opposition to BEE, affirmative action, and a number of other policies. And it is better for a party to come out clear and articulate its position so that when you join or support that party, you actually know the standpoint of that party. The race factor is going to be there is going to be a continuous contestation on this issue, because you have got a good segment of the members of the Democratic Alliance that are not happy with that policy position, and that is a matter that is going to be continuously spoken about within the Democratic Alliance. It might divide the Democratic Alliance or bring the members of the Democratic Alliance together.
You've just mentioned the exit on the basis of race, of the exit of Herman Mashaba from the Democratic Alliance. There's various other black leaders who exited the party, such as Mmusi Maimane, such as Lindiwe Mazibuko, and a whole host of other black leaders who left the party. Now, it does appear that the party is sort of, the resonance that it has struck, if at all, with the people of South Africa is now slowly eroding. And the other opposition party in South Africa, the Economic Freedom Fighters, seems to be picking up on the resonance that it has with the people of South Africa, given the, the growth of the party in the past few years. So where do you see the Democratic Alliance in terms of being the opposition, the official opposition in South Africa? Do you think that come 2024, they'll still be enjoying that privilege?
The Democratic Alliance is at a crossroads. Ever since the arrival of Mmusi Maimane, who was putting an emphasis on attracting blacks to join the Democratic Alliance, they also had to service their traditional support base, which is predominantly white. And at the same time, when you are busy focusing on black support, there was some people perceive this as a neglect of the traditional support base of the Democratic Alliance. But the coming back of Helen Zille into the party and their party position in relation to race clearly articulates the standpoint of the Democratic Alliance. And it is up to the black supporters within the Democratic Alliance to say, how then do we understand the policy position of the Democratic Alliance, and how do we then articulate it outside to other members who must actually be able to come and join the Democratic Alliance? It might not be an easy task to do, but if you are black and you are a member of the Democratic Alliance, you know the policy position of the Democratic Alliance, and it is up to those that are within the party to say, let us find ways to fight within the party, or also still go and convince other people that even though there is this policy position on race in the Democratic Alliance, we still feel that the Democratic Alliance remains the most better option for South African politics. But at the same time, there is going to be a continuous attack from other political parties on the standpoint of the Democratic Alliance, and it might not come easy for the Democratic Alliance to deal with those oppositions.
All right, Mr. Levy Ndou, thank you so much for chatting to us this morning. We do appreciate your thoughts and your insights this hour. That was political analyst Levy Ndou, and he's been discussing the current state of the Democratic Alliance as it goes to its elective conference this weekend, today as a matter of fact. And please be advised that SABC 2 and sister channel SABC News Channel 404 will carry that Congress live from 9:30 this morning, and that means that the normal Muvango omnibus will be moved to 10:30 a.m. So make sure that you stay tuned. It's just gone after 8 o'clock. Let's take a look at the top story.